Good morning, Shavua Tov. We start a new parasha today with the name of Emor. Emor means say, to speak, to verbalize something. And we're going to see how it works in two ways. How God speaks and also how our speech should be. So, what is the idea of Emor? God is telling us, say. Why do we have to say something? You know, our power, you can think it's in the head. It's thinking, ideas. But it's not enough to have great ideas. You have to verbalize them. You have to share them with somebody else. If not, the ideas don't have any purpose. They don't help. When you verbalize, where you share what you had in mind, ideas could become something positive. It's not enough that I study and I learn and I acquire knowledge, or that I have tremendous love for every Jew in my heart. I had to verbalize. It's very important to say, I love you, to share, to let people know that that love is there. Now, saying is not just enough, has to be said in a way that has an influence on the person listening. And that is the difference between emor and daber. In Hebrew, we find very often in the Torah the word Vaydaber Hashem el Moshe lemor, the phrase, the most used phrase. What's the difference in daber and emor? So daber is usually a little harsh, like more gevura, strict, discipline. But emor is lashon raka, soft language, speaking with kindness. It's very important because when we speak to others to influence them, we have to do it in a very loving and kind way, because that's the way that will be successful with our speech. That's the way we'll be able to influence them. When you're trying to help someone, even if it's not in a good spiritual level, or especially perhaps if it's not in a good spiritual level, you have to use soft, loving language in order to express the good thoughts and the good feelings you have for them. And that will be effective in bringing them to the level that they should be, or that you want to help them reach. Now, the Midrash says regarding this word, emor, the name of a parasha, imrot Hashem teorot, that the sayings, what God says, are pure. What does it mean that are pure? Kings, when they speak, leaders, rulers, not always what they say becomes a reality. Politicians, they promise, they say this will happen. But God is sayings are pure. Whatever he says happens. Now we know that we are dveikim b'Hashem, we're connected with God. What does it mean? That our speech is similar in a sense to God's speech, that has the ability to become a reality. Not exactly like God, that everything he says, Baruch Omer V'Yoseh, but we have to be aware of that tremendous power that we have. Therefore, we shouldn't say anything negative about a fellow Jew. That's why it says emor. Again, loving and kind way of expression. That's why the Rambam says it's a positive, when he says, explains the very important mitzvah we just read yesterday on the Torah, ve'avta l'reacha kamocha, love your fellow as yourself. It says the mitzvah to love every single Jew includes tzarich lesaper b'shivcho. You have to talk, you have to verbalize praises of your fellow Jew. What is a Talmid Chacham? What is a Torah scholar? Rambam says he talks positive about his fellows and never says something negative about another person. Every single Jew should take this to heart, what Rambam says. Always speak positive about others and never, Khalila, to say negative things. So, in two ways. If you see someone, I don't know, very simple, a child that is on top of a table, don't say you're going to fall down, because that's like saying a curse. It's a terrible thing. Be careful, because being on top of the table puts you in a situation that a person could fall down, but never say to someone something negative. That's a very simple question, clear. Never do something like that, because it could happen. But also, the Rebbe says, if you see someone doing something that is bad, you have to judge him in a positive manner. You have to find a way to judge, to say, oh, this is doing this because maybe lack of education, is not aware. You have to try to find a way to understand what is causing him to sin and not to speak negative about the sin that he's doing. And when we fulfill this Imrot Hashem Teorot, that the speech of Hashem is pure, just like when God says something, it becomes a reality. Rebbe says, if we speak positive about others, it will become a reality. That positive speech that you're verbalizing about someone reveals the goodness that is in them. So in practical terms, you see someone doing something wrong. What do you say? Oh, this person for sure loves Hashem too much, and he wants to do the right thing. Perhaps now he's confused. And as soon as he learns that the right behavior is this, he will do it. So by doing that, you're revealing and you're helping him and causing him to act in a positive way, because that's what you're bringing into the world. There is three realms: the realms of thought, of speech, and action. If you think positive and you speak positive, you're 2/3 of the way there. Now, the timing of our parasha is crucial, because it's always read on Sfirat HaOmer, while we're counting the Omer. What are we trying to accomplish during these days of counting the Omer? We are in mourning and trying to fix the sin of the students of Rabbi Akiva, that 24,000 of them died. Why? Because they did not speak respectfully to each other or about each other. What does it mean? They didn't speak nicely. They didn't find the zchut, as we said, the merits on each other. So we have to be very aware on these days that negative speech about our fellow Jews, it's completely forbidden. That's what brought so many troubles to the Jewish people. We always have to find the good in everybody. And as I often say, that from all the years that I studied my master's in organizational development, the one lesson that I cherish the most is a teacher that told us, listen, if you really want to create change in an organization, you have to catch people doing right. You can't go around criticizing people, because people will avoid you. Who wants to be criticized? So do the opposite. Catch people doing right. When someone is doing something good, say, oh, wow, this is so great, amazing. praise them. That is the most empowering thing you can do for people. And if every once in a while you have to criticize someone and suggest a way to do something better, do it. But the ratio should be 10 praises to 1 time that you're allowed to criticize. Positive speech, speak good about others, and you will reveal the goodness that is in them, even if they don't know, even if they don't hear that you're speaking positive about them. You're bringing that energy into the world and you're helping them better themselves. So let's start the week thinking positive, expressing that powerful Ahavat Israel love for every single Jew that we have, trying to speaking good about them, doing good, making that love a reality, making them aware of it, and catch people doing right, praise them, make their day when you praise someone, when you make them feel good about themselves. Thank you so much for watching. We'll continue learning together every day of this week, God willing, 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. Looking forward to seeing you. Shavua Tov. Have a blessed week. Thank you so much for